Because being a parent, being a mom, or being a dad, these are the roles that we can't really delegate to other people. It's not really the earning that they are concerned about, but it's actually the title or the position that they are currently in that's keeping them from quitting. If that's what's in your heart, then I'd say go for it. Quit your job, focus on your kids. Hey boss moms, welcome back to our channel. So for today's video, we are going to answer one of the most common questions, or let's say dilemma of moms, specifically working moms, and that is, should I quit my 9-to-5 job and become a full-time stay-at-home mom? If this is a question that you are also asking yourself or have been asking yourself for quite some time now, then this video is for you. But before we begin, and if you're new here, hello, this is Boss Moms in Charge. We are a new community for moms that aim to encourage, empower, and enlighten moms with regard to topics such as career, individuality, and productivity that most moms actually struggle with. We'd appreciate your support by subscribing to this channel and of course joining our community, not just here but all over social media. We also have a Facebook group wherein moms can interact with each other and just connect with fellow moms. So now let's dive into today's very interesting topic. Okay, so for this video we will have 3 parts. So for the first part, we will identify the working mom persona. So who is she? What does she do? What does her day look like? Or what lifestyle does she have? Things like that. So we can really picture the identity of a working mom. And when I say working moms, I am referring to those who are working full-time and could be working in an office setting or full-time at home. And for the second part, we will determine the factors that could be hindering you as a working mom to quit your job. So what are the factors that are stopping you from actually quitting the job that you have right now? And the third part will be what we call the let's just say phase. So here we will assess the situation. I will try to really evaluate the situation, like we will see from case to case on what action or decision you should be making. Just a disclaimer though, of course, the topic of quitting your job, this is purely subjective, and some of the things that I will be saying are hypothetical, so they may or may not apply to you personally. So please take things with a grain of salt. So for the first part, we will identify the persona of a working mom. So what does a working mom do actually in a typical day or a week? So a working mom, she works from 9 to 5 or typically 8 to 10 hours per day, and including travel time to the office if in case she is working in an office setting. Let's just say that she allots 12 hours of her life per day to her work. Having said that, she spends maybe around 2 to 3 hours with her family or with her kids. If her husband is also working, then most likely they have the same schedule, or when it comes to their working hours, it actually consumes almost the same number of hours. Professionally, she has dreams, she has aspirations, so we see her as someone who probably wants some promotion. She wants to maybe climb up the corporate ladder. She has this personal desire in her to really achieve something when it comes to professional matters. So a working mom may be working for like a year or 2, or she could be working for a decade already. But I am assuming that this question comes from those who have been working for quite some time now or for a few years already. For sure, the working mom had made friends already. She has time for socialization. She pursues a lifestyle that involves, hanging out with friends or being around people all the time. Again, if you're working in an office, it's really impossible that you don't get to have friends or people or colleagues that you really jive with. So the working mom probably has around maybe 1 to 2 days off from work. So that time, either she makes the most out of it and really spend quality time with her kids or with her family, or those days of resting, sleeping perhaps if she's kind of sleep deprived throughout the week. So now for the second part of our video, we will now identify the factors that could be hindering you as a working mom from actually quitting your work. So the first one is, of course, earnings. So I know that a lot of moms work because they have to support the family. Either the husband does not have work or the husband has work but his earning is not enough to pay the bills. So I know that a lot of moms work because of that, but there are also moms who work just because they want to earn for themselves. They want their own money. Now for the case of single moms, it's very much the same with the first reason that I've mentioned, which is they have to work because they have to support their kids. They have a kid to raise, or she still has to support her parents or her siblings. Many moms are actually in this kind of situation right now. Now, the second possible factor that could be hindering you from quitting your job is your personal desire to achieve something for yourself. Now, this is not bad at all. We all want to achieve something for ourselves, and I know some moms personally who really are achievers when it comes to their job, when it comes to their professional life. It's really a big factor to consider if you are thinking of quitting your job. The third factor that could be hindering you from quitting your job is the work itself. You love it, you enjoy it, you are just, you are very alive when you do it. It's just something that you're really passionate about and you're just thankful that you're getting earnings from it as well. It's a job that really makes you happy. The fourth one, it could not be the work, but it could be the people that you work with. As mentioned earlier, when you work, especially in an office setting, it is impossible that you don't get to be friends with people, or you don't get to form like a special connection with some people at your job. You know what? It's really a blessing when you get to work with people that you also get to be friends with in real life. This could be the, the thing that's actually keeping you from submitting your resignation letter or from actually leaving the company. And the last possible and maybe the most common factor on why you don't want to leave your job is because you feel that you are not ready to actually become a full-time housewife or a full-time stay-at-home mom. I know that many mothers are actually afraid of the idea of being at home and just doing the same routine every single day. And let me tell you, it's really not an easy task. Like, I know that there are people who are kind of discriminating or even degrading stay-at-home moms. They think that they're just at home doing nothing, when in fact, being a stay-at-home mom or being a full-time mom is actually the hardest job ever. And I'm saying this because personally, I have experienced being a full-time working mom. I have experienced being a stay-at-home mom with a full-time freelance work. I have experienced being a full-time mom with an online business and even an actual restaurant business. And I have experienced being a full-time stay-at-home mom without work at all. I've experienced it all. I can really speak from experience that it is hard. It's hard to be a full-time stay-at-home mom. It's entirely different from other people's perspective of it, that it's an easy task. Having said that, that could be the reason why you don't want to quit your job. And to be honest, that is as well understandable. So now that we have identified all these factors and we have identified the working mom persona or avatar, we will now move on to the third part of the video, and that is evaluating and assessing the situation. We will call this the let's just say phase, because I will be sharing with you some case-to-case scenario, and hopefully after this you will really get to evaluate things and think things through, because again, this matter is really subjective. At the end of the day, it's still up to you whether you will or will not quit your work. So we will now answer the question, should I quit my 9 to 5 job? Let's say that You think what's keeping you from quitting your job is your earning. But let's just say your husband or your spouse is actually earning and is earning enough for your family. He's earning enough to pay the bills, put food on the table, give you a comfortable life, and even extra things to suit your lifestyle. If that is the case, then I don't see why you think you have to keep your job and you have to continue earning. Now, you may tell me that it's because I want to earn for myself, I don't want to be dependent. First off, let's identify the hierarchy of priorities. We are actually taught that the hierarchy should be God, spouse, children, work, and hobby or ministry. If you're saying that it's okay for you to sacrifice the third most important, or even the second, because if we're talking about family, then it's the second and third priorities in life, then if it's okay for you to sacrifice those two for the sake of earning, even though in reality you don't really have to earn anymore because again your husband is earning is sufficient, if that's okay for you, then go ahead and keep the job. Spend like 12 hours away from the family or focused on your work, and spend 5 to 6 days doing that instead of actually spending 7 days a week with your kids. Suffice to say, I guess it's a matter of like your priority. But then if you are not willing to sacrifice that, and if you're realizing now that you shouldn't be sacrificing that, then I don't see any reason why you shouldn't quit your job. Now, when it comes to earning for yourself, actually, you can do that without having a full-time work. You can do either freelancing part-time, you can put up a small business online, or you can do some side hustles, invest for some passive income and all that. But you don't need to work like from 9 to 5 or spend half of your day just working, just so you can still spend more time with your family. Next, let's say your husband is not earning enough and you really feel the need to earn for the family or to contribute to your finances, then I'd say keep the job. Now, if you really want to quit, again, as mentioned just a while ago, you can pursue or you can look into different income streams like online businesses, investment, or using your skills at home to earn extra. That way, again, you will be able to spend more time with your kids and you'll be able to actually supervise them if you're going to do that. Some people will say they don't want to quit their job because of the earning, but in reality and maybe in their subconscious, it's not really the earning that they are concerned about, but it's actually the title or the position that they are currently in that's keeping them from quitting. As mentioned in our working mom persona or avatar, the working mom is an achiever. She wants to achieve something for herself. And that really is a big factor when it comes to, deciding something as big as quitting a job. Because it means if you decide to quit your job, then you are going to rip off yourself of that title. You're gonna remove that title from your identity, from who you are. You will become a full-time stay-at-home mom. No longer the manager, the team lead, the director, or whatever title you have right now. So you really have to be honest with yourself. If it's really the earning, if it's really other factors, or just that fact that's like controlling your decision when it comes to quitting the job. The tip that I can give you in order for you to really assess if it's worth it to stay at the job and pursue career advancement or your promotion is that you have to ask yourself where you are right now. And as of the moment, is there a clear pathway or direction for you to actually achieve that goal? Because the reality is, you might be there, you might be holding on to that work, to that career, thinking that, hey, someday in the future, I will be a C-level executive, or I will be a manager or a director of a certain department. But you have to ask yourself, are there clear steps for me to take in order for me to get to that level? Another question that you can ask yourself is, with where I am right now, am I getting closer to that? you can set like a goal or a specific like timeline. Let's just say in 5 years, if I still don't get to be a manager, then I will definitely quit my job. You can definitely do that. We don't have to be impulsive and make abrupt decisions, of course, especially when it comes to things as big as career. But again, you really have to know where you are right now and where you want to go, and if the things that you're doing right now are getting you any closer to that specific goal. Otherwise, it may turn out that you are holding on to the work, you are doing things that, will end up futile in the end. Now, let's say it's not the earning, it's not career advancement. I mean, you're okay even if you're in a rank and file position, but it's actually the fact that you lose your friends, colleagues, or the environment, the work environment. That fact is the one that's hindering you from quitting your job. Then I say, go back to the first thing that I said, which is evaluate your priorities. Again, friends at work, they are blessings to us, but at the same time, once you become a parent, once you get married, they should no longer be on top of your priorities. If you will get to still spend time with them outside work, if there will be a chance for you to catch up with them like once a month or even every week, then do so, and don't let that factor hinder you from quitting your job and spending that time for work with your kids instead. If that is the factor that's actually hindering you right now, then I say go back to your priorities. Who are your priorities at this very moment? And also think about it, if they really are your true friends, then even though you leave your job, even though you are no longer working with them in the same company, then there's no reason why the friendship should be over as well. Leaving the job does not equate to actually ending a friendship, because if you really have built that relationship, a strong connection with one another, then it's really not a matter of working together, but it's really a matter of connecting with each other even though you no longer work together or you no longer see each other every day. So now that things are making sense, let's just say that it's not the earning, it's not the position or the title, and it's not friends, definitely. Then, as mentioned in the factors that could be hindering you from leaving your job, the fear of actually being a full-time stay-at-home mom, which, to be honest, that fear, as mentioned, that fear is valid. The fear of reaping yourself off of everything, of earnings, of title, of friends, or of a lifestyle that you're used to already. Those things, you have to be ready to remove them from your system if you decide to be a full-time stay-at-home mom. And it's definitely an adjustment. It needs time for you to get used to your new role, although you're a mom from the beginning, but being a full-time stay-at-home mom and doing the same things every day, that's a different deal. Do know that your fear is valid, that what you're thinking of that may possibly go wrong, it may or may not happen at all. But the thing is, you'll never know how it exactly feels, and who knows, it might not be as hard for you as it is for other women or other moms. You'll never know it until you actually get to be in that position. So I want to wrap this with 3 important tips. First one, you can always have your career back, especially if you decide to go back to work after a few years of being a full-time stay-at-home mom. You can always, definitely, I assure you, you can always have it back. But what you can never have back, you can never go back to those years wherein your kids need you the most, especially if your kid or kids are still very young. It's very important that we are present in the lives of our kids during their formative years, especially during those years that they are still forming their values and they still have a lot of curiosities. It's very important that we are there for them to guide them as mothers and even fathers. The second one that I want to leave you with is that there are opportunities outside a 9 to 5 job. There are a lot of other income streams or earning opportunities that you can try. Again, you can try freelancing, you can try establishing or putting up your own business based on your own skill. Like if you know how to bake, you know how to cook, then you can set up like a food business. If you know how to draw, or if you're an illustrator, then maybe you can create something creative and sell it. So I don't want you to think that earning or that even personal achievement, that you'll be able to achieve it only by working 9 to 5, but by being a corporate slave, because that is definitely not true. And the last one is be self-aware. Really know your priorities, know what you want to achieve in life, and know the exact reason why you want to quit your job. Do you want to quit your job because you're not happy with your job, or you want to quit your job because you really want to prioritize your kids? Because this question, the question that we have is that, should I quit my 9 to 5 job and become a full-time housewife? So if you're going to tell me that you are going to quit your job because you want to focus on your family, then you should fully accept it with all your heart and with all your might. Because being a parent, being a mom, or being a dad, these are the roles that we can't really delegate to other people. These are roles that are very important, not just to us personally, but most especially to our kids. It's our responsibility to raise kids who, when they go out of the real world, when they grow up, we know we are sure, we know that we did our best to really instill the right values to them, just so that they can impact the society, they can impact whoever they get to meet in a positive way, in the way that we really want them and hope them and prayed for them too. So if that's what's in your heart, then I'd say go for it. Quit your job, focus on your kids. And again, the first two tips that I mentioned, work is not everything there is, and when you become a mom or you become a dad, your family, that's already the priority. That should be the priority in your life. Okay, so another thing that I'd like to add before I end this video is that always remember that every time you say yes to something else, you say no to your kids or to your spouse. So every moment that you spend, every time that you spend doing something else, those are times that you should be spending with your family. If you think of it that way, that it's so easy to decide whether you should quit your 9 to 5 and focus on your kids. So there you have it, guys. That's it for our video for today. I hope you find this video, helpful. I hope you picked up a thing or two. And if you're in that specific crossroad of not knowing if you should quit your job or not, I hope this video will help you decide. Or in a way, if no decision comes up yet, I hope that I was able to kind of give you some scenarios that you can look into and consider, or factors that you can actually think of before you make the decision. At the end of the day, the decision will be up to you, but what we hope is that you will get to come up with the right decision that will not only have a positive effect in your life personally, but also the people around you. So that's it for this video. Again, please subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, and join us on our Facebook group and follow all our social media pages. Again, thank you so much for being here, and see you guys again in our next video. Bye! What?